This week's Ride of the Week is Leviathan. It is a 2016 Mustang GT owned by Chris, making 650 horsepower and 640 foot-pound of torque. This monster has a list of upgrades including custom exhaust, Auto Mafia racing tunes, lowering springs, Generation 3 Coyote intake, Ford Performance 47-pound injectors, nitrous outlet X-Series wet system, and a 10-pound bottle. If you would like your car featured on this channel as Ride of the Week, send some pictures and some info to JeastRacing@gmail.com. If you have already submitted, you are still eligible to be Ride of the Week. Thanks for watching, guys.
My YouTube family, I am back with another video, and I have made a few that was a little bit different from my normal, weekly breakdown of what happened in the show. Although they are Street Outlaws related, it is just a different aspect of the show. And this one is no different. While it does involve racing, a street grudge, no prep type of feel, it does not have anything to do with Street Outlaws, except it is a spin-off of the show. And they have had a pilot that has already aired, and some of you may have seen it, some of you may not have seen it. It is not on Discovery Channel, it is on Velocity. And I will get into all that in a minute, but Velocity is a strictly car or automotive related channel. Whereas Discovery Channel only has like Motor Mondays and Supercharged Sundays or whatever. But this is 24/7 cars, and their pilot was different. It was interesting but different and had pros and cons, and we're going to talk about that all in just a second. Before I do get into that part, there is one or two things, as always, that I want to say. Number one, it is my shirts, and this is not the normal every plug that I have been putting in for my shirts, although I do want to do that. 15 to 18 bucks, depending on where you live, the most comfortable shirt you will put on. It's a Gildan dry fit shirt. I am not seeing a dime from these shirts is going into account to a graphics designer to make some shirts that I have some awesome ideas for. But everyone, please trust me, the shirts are amazingly comfortable, and you can't go wrong with spending 15 to 18 bucks on a awesome fitting t-shirt, and you're doing it for a good cause, and you have a chance at winning some money, so can't lose. With that being said, let's kick it off right here. Now, what the topic of this video is going to be is a new show that is coming on the Velocity channel. Not the Discovery Channel, but the Velocity channel. The fastest cars in the Dirty South. And they have had the pilot episode so far, and the production company was waiting to see how that episode done before they offered them, the rest of the series, or the rest of, more than just the pilot. And I learned about this a couple of weeks ago, and I was waiting to see if it got more than one before I made this video. Well, they are advertising, they are looking for people to race on their show, so obviously it did. And I have reached out to the main guy, the big chief of the show, Eric Malone, and I am waiting on a response. And I fully feel like he will respond. It has only been about 30 minutes since I reached out to him. Eric, if you see this and you haven't responded, check your Facebook messages. But the gist of episode 1 was the lead guy in the show, the big chief, we'll call him, of the show, is named Eric Malone, and I seen him a long time ago on a episode of Street Outlaws New Orleans, and that show, the New Orleans bunch, you couldn't tell anything about anybody's car from that show, because that was a horrible attempt at a spin-off to get better benefits from the Street Outlaws franchise. And Kai, Scott Taylor, Barry Nichols, the Probe, all of the guys on the show have insane fast cars. The show did not do them justice, and the street is not really where any of those guys shine. I know the Bird Brothers has won Cash Days in Texas and all that, but that's just not where they shine. But the show that I'm talking about right now, I feel like, from just the pilot, I'm just going off the pilot, but I do feel like it showcases what they do, and they don't try to hide what they do. And I don't know if every episode will be like the pilot, and I don't think it will, but is what happened was the Eric Malone guy knew a guy who had a couple of cars. He had one fast car and one slow car. And he made a bet with a guy that he could take his slow car and keep it a week or so and fix it and outrun his faster car. And the way that it worked was, if he outrun it, he got to keep the car. If he got outrun, the guy got the car back with all of the upgrades for free. And he had around $10,000 in it, and the whole kind of gist of what it was he had a $3,000 or $4,000 Malibu, got it from the guy for free, put $10,000 in it, and then he has a $25,000 race car that he can race or sell or whatever he wants to do with it for $12,000, $13,000. So he was going to double his profits by building a car, racing it, and showing that he could do what he set out to do. Is basically how it worked. And he did win, which is going to be the pilot. I don't think he would lose, but I don't think it was scripted either. The car he raced was fast. It was on a track. It was a really different show from Street Outlaws. And it actually was a breath of fresh air. And the biggest thing that I took away from the show, and I feel like anyone would take away from the show, or at least 90% of the people who enjoy these type shows, is everything that we seen on the show. Every single thing on that show, from the beginning to the end, is something that the everyday guy could build in his garage, under a shade tree. It would not take anything like Street Outlaws has evolved into. This one right here was for the everyday guy, and the everyday guy who wants to go fast. And that will touch home with so many more people than what Street Outlaws has evolved into. And I'm not knocking the Street Outlaw guys for what they've done. They had to evolve on the show to stay number one on their list, because that is what the show was about, being number one on the list. And there's no list, there's nothing crazy like that in this new show, and I feel like it's going to be awesome. They will be able to make it if they stay to where the average person can relate. That is probably 90% of the emails and comments that I get now is talking about it's not street cars on Street Outlaws anymore. It's, nobody can relate. It's a $500,000 car, or, they don't even have radiators anymore. They don't even have alternators anymore, and that's all true. And that is where they have lost a lot of their audience when it comes to, very few people can go and spend $100,000+ on a toy. And that is where this show is going to find its light and shine, and that is that anyone can do it. And as far as my thoughts on the show, I feel like they had some tweaking to do. You could tell that they was really nervous, and who wouldn't be, on TV. And these are just normal everyday guys. They are from the same area code as me, and I really want to reach out to them and get involved in it a little more, because I do think that Street Outlaws is on its downhill. It's peaked, it's on its downhill, and although I don't think any other show is going to come in and get the ratings like that one did, I do feel like this show, done right, done correctly, don't make the mistakes that the 405 has made, can be something that can last a while, and you can get some notoriety out of it, and you can show what you are passionate about, capable of, and what a average everyday Joe can do. And if they take anything from this video, stick with that. You know, that is the biggest gripe. That is the worst thing that has happened to Street Outlaws, and I hope they see that. With this being a whole nother production company, a whole nother, you know, television channel completely, you know, there will be no crossovers or anything like that, but they have to see the mistakes that's been made and not make them to succeed with what they're trying to do. But I love the show. I thought it was nice. I don't know how the rest of them's going to be. I will let you know something as soon as I know. I'm going to do a lot more studying on this show, and I hope that you all will watch it. There is going to be some reruns of the show. Go to Velocity and search for it. Fastest Cars in the Dirty South. Go look for it, find it, and watch it. Tell me what you think. Go find them on Facebook, Fastest Cars in the Dirty South, or 256 Fastest Cars in the Dirty South, or something like that. On the screen right now is the actual name of the Facebook page. Go find it out. You'll find all the information you need to know about the show there. And let me know what you think. Comments below, email address on the screen. Let me know what you think. And if you haven't picked up a shirt yet, go pick one up and be entered to win some cold hard cash. Thank you very much for watching, and Godspeed. I'll see you in the next one.